All right, man. Let's talk about apparently Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith is beefing over some comments Stephen A. Smith said on JJ Redick podcast about how Skip Bayless begged him over to was it cold pizza maybe for whatever it was time. He begged him to said the show Skip Bayless begged him that he needed them, they needed him, and for the show to do numbers, and Skip Bayless said that simply wasn't true. That's what he said. It simply wasn't true what Stephen A. Smith was saying, and he said he wasn't going to address it until the New York Post did they did a whole story on it. And it's just it's blew up since then. So I used to watch the show on Cold. Yeah, it was Cold Pizza when he did this for sure. And I used to watch the Cold Pizza show, and it was really good back then. There's a lot of BS going on in that set though, but that's another story for another day. Now, we just listen to what Stephen A. Smith got to say first. That'll be naturally the move. So, listening to what he had to say. So here we go.
Skip Bayless was doing his thing with First Take, having the two live stews, Jamel Hill, Rob Parker, and various other people debating against him. And then in 2012, they weren't satisfied with the numbers. They weren't satisfied with the ratings, the level of revenue that was being generated. Skip Bayless comes to me in the parking lot on the campus of ESPN in Bristol, Connecticut. And he says, I know you got your plans. You love the NBA. You love being out on the road. You love being in the locker room. But he said, but I need you. He said, I can't. I've done all that I could to take this as far as I could go. I need you to do this for me, please. He said, I just need 3 years. He said, I think we'll knock it out the park. I thought about it. Those were clearly my best options. They weren't about to give me my own show or anything like that at the time. I thought about it for a couple of days. I said, all right, I'll do it. 1 month later, we were number one. And we've been number one ever since.
So that's what he said. So that was his recollection of it. And like I said before, it sounded good. You know what I'm saying? It sounded good, bro. For sure, it sounded good. It sounded real good. I mean, at the end of the day, that was his Draymond Kevin Durant moment. Think about it for a minute. That was his Draymond Kevin Durant moment, bro. Like he need me in the parking lot, and they want to be the athletes, and now the athletes, they blast the media, and now a lot of athletes, um, a lot of the athletes, you know what I'm saying, they becoming the media and doing this and breaking the ethics code. You see Draymond going at Kendrick Perkins and stuff, and he say, "Well, y'all need to stand on y'all word." That's his thing. Like, bro, everybody got an opinion. It ain't like you, Michael Jordan. You making it happen. You ain't Steph, but Skip Bayless took offense to it. He took offense to it, and here's what he had to say. Hey, Dre, I got something to say.
Here's the guts of what Stephen A. said on the podcast. And I quote, Skip Bayless was doing his thing with First Take, having the two live stews, that's Ryan and Doug Stewart, Jamel Hill, Rob Parker, and various other people debating against him. And then in 2012, they weren't satisfied with the numbers, the ratings, and the amount of revenue that was being generated. Skip Bayless, said Stephen A., comes to me in the parking lot of ESPN's campus in Bristol, Connecticut, and he says, I know you've got your plans. You love the NBA. You love being out on the road. You love being in the locker room, but I need you. I've done all that I could to take this as far as it can go. I need you, please. Just give me 3 years. I think we can knock it out of the park, said Stephen A. on the Redick podcast. Then he continued. I thought about it. Those were clearly my best options. They weren't about to give me my own show or anything like that at the time. I thought about it for a couple of days and I said I'd do it. 1 month later, we were number one, and we've been number one ever since, said my brother Stephen A. Smith on the Reddick podcast. Let me gather myself. What? I cannot tell you how wrong that was. It was so recklessly inaccurate. It was such shocking fabrication. And my first thought when Ernestine sent this to me to peruse, I thought, how could my brother Stephen A. turn on me like that? On me? Seriously? Stephen A. was suggesting that he saved and then made First Take. How can you save and make a show that was already as big a 1,000,000,000 success story as ESPN had ever seen? The ratings and the revenues were impossibly great when Stephen A. joined me in 2012. With Stephen A. as my partner, First Take would never touch the NFL Monday ratings that it hit in 2011, pre-Stephen A. And I had taken First Take as far as I could. Seriously? I was just getting started. The rocket had just launched the year before in 2011. Stephen A., how dare you? So look, if Stephen A. had just blurted out what he blurted on that podcast and it had come and it had gone, maybe I wouldn't have chosen to fire back on my podcast. But fortunately or unfortunately, the New York Post wrote an entire story about those remarks. Then it seemed like every website from here in LA to New York picked up or reacted to the Post story. And suddenly I was in danger of this fiction becoming fact. If left unopposed by me, this outrageously revisionist history just might have morphed into bona fide history, and maybe it still will. Maybe it still will become part of that public domain, and in the future, I don't know, maybe every time someone goes to write about the all-time amazing success story, the against all odds rise of First Take, they will accept as gospel that Stephen A. saved and made First Take. But trust me, that is utter untruth. To use one of Stephen A.'s favorite words, that is just blasphemy.
All right, that was Skip Bayless had to say. You could tell he kind of held back because they made some money together. But I damn near watched that show from the beginning. It was always pretty good. And he also apparently went on to say in the clip, in a different clip of that interview, that the NFL, they NFL ratings wouldn't have took off on the show without him. And like I said, you got to understand, man. Stephen A. Smith on top of the world. He make the most money doing what he do, on ESPN. I'm sure Fox do the bag at Skip Bayless, but all this leading into is for something to talk about in the dog days. If you don't know the dog days of if you don't know the dog days of of the year, is when basketball and no National Football League And college basketball, college football is not on. Tennis, golf, that's it. That's what it's on. You know, that's what it is. So this just gave us something to talk about. We can't really talk about actual NFL, NBA finals going, and there's just content. You know, uh, they help each other. Absolutely, they couldn't have reached the heights that they had. Without each other, they had made a good combination, but at some point you had to switch it up. And Stephen A. Smith has so much power when Skip Bayless gone and the ball was in his court. Remember, they fired and brought him back. He was getting a little bit too black on TV. And they, when when Skip Bayless took the big bag to go to Fox, right? Stephen A became the man. Then he got then it went over to he went to Fox, and then Stephen A was able to get Max Kellerman removed. So think about that for a minute. Now he was able to, make his first take, aka Stephen A. Smith versus the world. So Stephen feeling himself. That was his Draymond moment for him. He was Kevin Durant, and Skip was Draymond. I need you. Give me 3 years, and the ratings was bad, and they wasn't making no revenue off the show, and and Skip was like, "Well, I was just getting started," but only one way to go look at it. You know, it's only one way is go back and look at the ratings. That's what you can do. That's the number one you could do. We can prove who right, and who semi right, who semi wrong. But Stephen A. Smith, excuse me, is definitely feeling himself. He's definitely feeling himself, bro. And like I said before, he Skip Bayless not ESPN, and he did it significantly younger, I believe. And they say, well, eventually, his main goal is to get a late night talk show TV spot. And I'm thinking, like, I don't even know people still watch late night talk shows. I ain't really know people we watch regular TV unless it was sports. But like I said before, just give you something to talk about. These dudes both north of 50. And then, Skip said his wife sent it to him. They both north of 50. Ain't no furniture is gonna be moving. Ain't no blows gonna be thrown. This is just TV beef. And ain't really nothing to even get mad over. He said what he said. He said what he said. And then Stephen A. Smith, he said it's the only comment that matters. So hold on. So let me pull this up. So he said this right here is the only comment that mattered. So he said, my only comment on the matter, I didn't lie about a damn thing. This is nothing more than a misunderstanding. I've stated on many occasions Skip Bayless made first take. He carried it on his back for years. And when he asked me to come on, he needed me because he carried the show on his back for years. He needed a permanent host. He asked, and he chose me. Because of his decision, I enjoy the success that I have. Because of him, I've become what I've become at ESPN. Skip Bayless is my brother. I always love this man. I always be grateful. No matter how far I continue to climb, I have him to thank. My comments about first take on ESPN about the state of first take at that time is what I was told. It certainly wasn't meant to slight my brother. I would never intentionally do that. The only sad part about that portion of this is that it appears not to know that despite my consistent commentary over the years regarding how much he means to me. Check the record. The rest I will address with my brother Skip Bayless privately. Now, if y'all would excuse me, I've got an NBA Finals to finish covering. So, yeah, that's what he said. What he said, bro. So he said that he got those are he got receipts, and he said this is what it was told to me. Now, the ESPN tell you because the way literally you said it, like it was he literally said it like Skip Bayless said, "Man, I need you, man. I need you." That's what he basically said it like. That's what he exactly said it like. He didn't say it like, oh, ESPN said it. You said it like Skip Bayless said it. So, I mean, that is what it is. That's exactly how it came off to me. So, I mean, let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Uh, Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live, drop a video. Financially supporting the channel. Cash App, $ CJ Good 313. Venmo CJ Good 313. PayPal link description. Hit the link tree. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all that stuff, man. Hit me up. There's the first link in the description. Check out the music entertainment playlist. Let me know what you girls and guys think. One time for the one time. Peace.